Namaste, Jai Bharat. Anti-Bharat forces were always very enthusiastic in using the concept of Hindu nationalism as a weapon against nationalist parties. Hindu nationalism. They were threatening the people of Bharat, the non-Hindus of Bharat, that it's going to be Hindu nation. If these people are allowed to function, they will make Bharat a Hindu nation. Now there are a lot of conceptual confusions in this discussions and talks. First of all, the concept of Hindu can't be equated with a concept of Christian or Muslim, etc. because the Christian Islamic theology is entirely different from the philosophy of Hindus. You can legitimately call these religions as religions, but with that understanding you cannot call any of the Bharatiya dharmas as a religion. They are termed as dharma to be appropriate. One premise: these religions thrive on the basis of promises of reward given to people and fear of punishment given to people posthumously. That's after death. They all believe that after death a person's soul goes to heaven, where he'll be either rewarded and or punished in hell. These two fears are floated. That's one structure of a religion. And another thing is that religion is always initiated or began with mostly an individual and his group. Dharma is not that. Dharma doesn't make promises of death, promises after death in heaven, because the dharmas are only in Bharat. The Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Jain, Bauddha and Sikhs, they don't have a similar concept of heaven. The Swarga is not heaven, because Swarga is a place where Devi Devtas live. So the entire concept is different. If you think you understand it, because you already know it. Only thing you don't think about it. And Naraka is Naraka because of its lawlessness. Naraka is a place where Daityas and Danavas live. And that's lawlessness, where might is right, no law and order. That's what is Naraka meant by any dharma of Bharat. So, a domination of one of this religion should be oppressing the other, because these theologies teach people that you are right, okay, you are right, and only you are right. A step ahead. Then the worst, others are wrong. When this kind of theology is taught to people, that your religion is right, only your religion is right, other religions are wrong, then Islam goes a step ahead. Others are infidels, they have no right to live. Then the whole scenario changes. Whereas the dharma, be it Hindu, be it Jain, be it Buddhism, or be it Sikh, they don't teach this, that others are wrong. They don't even teach you are right. They don't even teach you are the only right people. And obviously they don't teach others are wrong. The entire philosophy is based on, many times people must have told, Egam Sat Vibha Bahudha Vadanti, that's one. Then the kind of concept which is floating, Vasudhaiva Kutumbaga. So from this evolves a modern term, secularism, spontaneously. Therefore, a Hindu is secular in that terms, in the European concept, by default. Hindu is secular by default. That is why all other religions were welcome in Bharat and they thrive. There were no persecution. I am talking about the past on other religions. Hindu by default is secular, and today Bharat is secular because of the Hindu majority nature. Otherwise, in other societies, secularism do not really exist. A society other than Hindu society has to make special efforts to be secular because they have the concept of tolerating others. They speak of religious toleration. That's a problem with religion, not with dharma. See, when you speak toleration, or the concept of toleration itself is self-luminant, which is self-explaining, that you tolerate something unwittingly, that you don't want it actually, but then you put up with it. It's something like that your partner is snoring the glory. There you tolerate the snore. Not that you enjoy it or accept it. Toleration of a religion is where you are just putting up with it. You just make up your mind to endure the torture or unpleasantness of another religion. That is religious toleration. But in Bharatiya Sanskriti, all the dharmas in Bharat, they accept and respect the other's faith as his faith. This my faith like my language, and you have a faith like something like your language. You take the example of language, things become very clear. I have a language which is my language, which has nothing to do with your language, and you have a language, your language, which may have nothing to do with my language. But then we may have a common language to converse, which is mutually understandable. But it's something like that. Your faith system is also something like that. I am not intervening into your faith system. You will also not intervene into your faith system. Not as an adjustment, but as a default nature, in the sense that your faith is as good as my faith, and why should I bother about it? Why should I get into a comparison between different faiths? So the discussions of comparative religions all are from the European context, because they understand religion, they don't understand dharma. They are blissfully and absolutely ignorant. So they very thought that if it is Hindu majority, or if it is Hindu Rashtra, that others will sideline this, because the non-Hindus expects or anticipates Hindu to behave in a manner which a non-Hindu would behave in the similar condition. Non-Hindu means not Bharatiya Dharma. I will continue using the word Dharma for Bharatiya Dharmas and religion for others. A person who is in a religion fears or anticipates a person of dharma to behave the same manner that the religious person would have behaved in the situations of the dharmic man or dharma when majority. So they float this fear that Hindu Rashtra means others will have to go. That's because of their understanding of their Sanskriti. Those who live in Bharat are those who are not non-Sanatanis, those who live in Bharat. They by faith might be following whatever, either Christianity or Islam, which is of a different origin, but that only their faith is different. But their Sanskrit remains the same so long as they are in Bharat, and which the people do live like that. Normal people do live like that, so they have no problem of coexisting with others, not just with Hindus, just with anyone else. That is the Bharatiya Sanskriti. That is a Bharatiya culture, dharma, which gives an epistemology of coexistence of the multiple and plural. This is how people live in Bharat. All faiths coexist without having any complications and problems, because one's faith is one's faith. Like my faith, he is right in his place, I am right in his place. Over and above, nobody thinks about what is right and what is wrong. Only rights are there. There are no wrongs. This is how people have been living for centuries together. Now, with narrow-mindedness, injected fundamentalism, and the stories of Darul Islam, etc., with fund from outside, gets infiltrated into Bharatiya society, and the non-existing conflicts are created. And they create this story that if the Hindu majority, if they make a Hindu Rashtra, then others will be oppressed. That's only because they anticipate that Hindus would do the same thing as they would have done under similar conditions, which they have done in Mughal rule's time and also in the British rule's time. That has not changed us, because we can't change. In your words, if you use secularism as a word, concept, Hindus are by default secular. You don't have to teach me to be secular, because that's built in us. I'm never taught that others are wrong. But you are taught that I am wrong, and you are taught that I am a kafir, and you are taught that I am an infidel, and you are taught that I can't go to heaven, and you are taught that I should be killed. Where the problem lies? You remain in your faith, but adopt. You have to be conscious about your own culture in which you live. Culture is one, faith is different. And if some external agent comes in to overlook your culture and focus on this fundamentalism, that creates problem. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.